Shalom, we're in Parashat BeChuqotai. If you want to raise your hand or draw on the screen, this is how you do it. Who would like to begin? Verse 1. Go ahead, Amanda. Amanda, do you want to go?
Sorry.
Okay.
Im BeChuqotai telechu ve'et mitzotai tishmeru ve'asitem otam.
Very good. This isn't what we usually expect with this vav with a patach under it. So rather than ve, what should it be?
Va.
Right. Why is it va?
Because it's a vegetal.
It probably is a vekatal, but that's not the reason why it changes to patach. What we expect is a shva.
Because it backs up, the vowel backs up because it's a guttural.
Very good. So we can't have two reduced vowels at the beginning of a word. Hebrew simply doesn't allow it. So this first vowel changes to a full vowel, usually a short vowel, but sometimes a sharuk. And what vowel does it change to? Well, usually a chirik, unless you have one of these reduced vowels right there, and then it vowel harmonizes. Exactly. So instead of like that, it becomes va'a. Va'asitem. Very good. Im BeChuqotai telechu. There's penultimate stress on that. We can see the cantillation mark there. And the reason that it's penultimate stress is because that's our halfway point. Ve'et mitzvotai. Now this has to be a consonantal vav because the preceding letter already has a vowel under it. And then the vowel attached to it will be the cholam on top. Mitzvotai tishmeru va'asitem otam. Does anybody know the root hakak or hukot or huk or hukim? Hulk? Okay.
A law, do, or something prescribed.
Very good. It's also used sometimes to talk about something that's regular or limited or expected. If anybody's ever heard of the Lord's Prayer, this is the word that's used for talking about daily bread. Lechem chuki. Why? Well, the whole idea behind this root has to do with limiting or prescribing. I don't know if I want to say limits or allotments, maybe. And it says what's allowed and what's not, and that's why you'll see it translated as statutes or commands, but it has to do with limiting to some degree. So the Lord is saying, don't do that. That's a limit. So, im BeChuqotai telechu, if in my limits, within my boundaries, if you will, you will walk. Ve'et mitzvotai, what is tziva? What's the root tziva?
Commandment.
To command. Yeah, to command. So mitzvotai are going to be the nouns derived from that. Mitzvotai, my commands. Tishmeru, you all, plural, will keep. All right, who's the next reader? Annie, would you like to read?
Natati gishmechem beitam venatna haaretz yevula ve'etz hasade iten piyo.
Perfect. Venatati gishmechem be'itam v'natna haaretz yevulach ve'etz hasadeh yiten piryo. All right, so if you remain within the limits that God has laid down, if you obey the commandments that He has given, then good things happen. That's what we're reading. I will send your rain in due season, and the increase of the land you will see, and the trees will produce fruit. And this is kind of the whole message of the Torah, that if we do what God says, then we'll see blessing, and if we don't do what God says, then we will see cursing. And in fact, this parasha has a lot to say about what happens if you don't follow the commandments of the Lord. We probably won't get to those. We'll probably have to skip over them to get to the end. But we'll also see in Deuteronomy, near the end of the book, it says the exact same thing. You know, these are the blessings and these are the curses. This is also a pretty standard format for an ancient Near Eastern contract, or especially with a vassal king. These are the terms. If you keep them, this is what happens. If you don't keep them, this is what happens. Let's see. Why is there a dot inside of the hay?
Because it's a consonant.
Correct. And what does that consonantal hay mean?
It's directional.
It's not directional here. A directional hay is going to be a vowel hay. Here it's a consonant.
Mhm.
It's a pronominal suffix. It's a pronominal suffix that means hers. So yavul or yavul is yielding or increase, and her yielding or increase is what that hay signifies. Whose?
Hers.
Yeah, hers.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, explicitly the land. And then here we have the tree of the field shall give piryo. Why is there an O at the end?
It's his,
His.
his,
Trees.
Exactly. Etz is a masculine, so his fruit, that is belonging to the etz. Very good. Next reader. Would anyone like to read? If not, Amanda gets it. Go ahead, Amanda.
Behesig lachem dayish et batzir. Uvatzir yasig et zera. Va'achaltem lachemechin lasova vishavtem lavetach ba'artsechem.
Exactly. Vehisig lachem dayish et batzir, uvatzir yasig et zara, va'achaltem lachmechem lasova, vishavtem lavetach ba'artsechem. Here, whenever you see those two shvas, remember to split them up, and it'll make it easier to pronounce. Lach mechem, just like ba'artsechem, same thing. Here it's in pausal form. This should be a different word. Instead of zara, what would it usually be?
Zera.
Zera, exactly, zera. This should be a segelet, just like melech or yeled. Why doesn't it have two segols?
Because it has a guttural.
It's the ayin. It's because of the ayin. So because of that guttural, this is going to prefer an ah sound. So where's this ah sound coming from?
Is it because of the rush?
Actually, no, it's because the original vowel for the word zera apparently was an ah. Zara. Remember that the segols in those seglet words are artificial. They came later on. In fact, most of the time that you see a segol, it's artificial. Okay, what is the root of vihisig?
Nagar.
Nun, Shin, Gimel.
We've got a missing nun right here that is causing a strong dagesh. Whenever you see a dagesh, you ask yourself, why?
Why is
What's
it there?
missing? Exactly. Is it part of the pattern or is a letter missing? Here a letter's missing. Nasag. And wait, so why is there a dagesh right there? Super easy question. It's because it's a bigad kafat letter. And there's no, exactly. And there's no preceding vowel. That's it. Exactly. Same reason that we have a dagesh there. Why is this dagesh here? It's not a dagesh.
It's it's to do with the sound of the Vav or the,
It's in front of a bilabial.
Very
yeah,
good.
that's it. That's what I meant.
That's it. So because bet is a bilabial and because vav was originally a bilabial, wah, it's preserving closer to its original sound by this shurik. So what was probably originally wavatzir, which sounds funny. It sounds like I have a speech impediment. Over time turned into uvatzir. It's because of the bet. What other letters cause the vav and to turn into an u besides bet?
Is it
Pay,
more?
mem.
Mem.
Vav also.
Oh.
Vav also. All four of these letters. Now there aren't that many letters that start. There aren't that many words that start with a vav, but they do exist. And vav does the exact same thing. All four of these are bilabials. And lastly, what else will u show up in front of besides these four letters? A word that starts with shva. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Why would we get an u in front of a word that starts with a shva?
Because you can't start a word with two shvas.
Very good. If this were two shvas, we can't have that. The first one turns into a full vowel, usually a chirik, but here the vav takes precedence. Vav is closer to an ou sound. Ooh, it will be in front of shva. Very good. What is the root of this word? Vishavtem.
The bet.
Yashav.
It's
Oh.
Yod, Shin, Bet.
That was too easy. Too easy.
Yashav, dwelling.
What other root
Yod.
looks like this here? Do we know what
Sheva.
number that's? But yeah, the number 7 is sheva. This word is sova. Completely different roots. Shin
Taum.
originally represented two different sounds. One
Last.
has a dot on the right and one of them that has a dot on the left, right?
Beautiful.
Well, the further you get into Hebrew, the more you realize that other letters do the exact same thing. It's just that sheen and seen have dots to mark which one is which. We touched on it a little bit in some previous lessons, but things like chet, there are two different chets. Zayin, there are two different zayins. There are two different ayins. There are 3 different tzadis. It's ridiculous. But the point being is that you can see roots that look the same, but they're unrelated because that one letter represented 2 different sounds originally. But that's like history of Hebrew stuff that you'll see much later on. And all right, who's the next reader? Angela, would you like to read?
Yes, please.
All right.
And Vevatati and Shalom Baharetz Baharetz
Mhm.
and U Ush. It's not a moving. Is a moving one?
Actually, oo is a long vowel, so it's going to be ushchavtem. And
Ushakatem. Yeah.
you can know that it's a moving shva is because the following begad kefat letter has no dagesh.
Yeah. Ushakatem. VN. Sorry. I have my eyes playing up today, but anyway, Mahar,
Association, glaube ich.
read,
Mhm.
Maharit,
Macharid.
and
Yes.
Vehish Bati, Ayat, yeah, and Raha, and Min, Aharetz,
Hmm.
Vekeret, Lo, Taha, Vor, and Behar Zekem.
Ba'artzachem. Good. Venatati shalom ba'aretz ushchavtem ve'en machrid vehishbati chaya ra'a min haaretz vecherev lo ta'avor ba'artzachem. All right, so we're continuing with this theme of if you follow my commandments, I will give you peace in the land. You shall lie down, no one's going to make you afraid, and I will get rid of all those bad animals out of the land, and the sword will not go through your land. Okay. Why is there a dagesh in this tav?
Because
It would have been a noon there. No
Mhm.
time.
Very good. Yeah, that's an easy one, isn't it? The root here is natan, and the noon at the end of a syllable will assimilate. Well, then let's try something a little bit harder. Why is there a dagesh in the bet?
Because it's
Few.
he no.
Begad kefat, I tricked you. It's an easy one. It's just a begad kefat weak dagesh. But this one, on the other hand, is tricky. Why does that one have a dagesh?
For the same reason the one at the top of it.
Uh-huh. Why? Because it has a missing noon?
There's something missing.
There's something missing. That's correct. What's missing? Shabbat.
Oh, Shabbat.
Is it?
Exactly. The root of Shabbat.
Mhm.
Shabbat means to cease. Now,
Mm.
usually we think of ceasing work on the rest day, but here it's in the causative verbal form, which is called he feel. And so he says, he will cause to cease, or actually he says in the first person, I will cause to cease. So the root shin bet tav and the suffix tav yod result in two tavs side by side. One assimilates into the other. Vehishbati. It's almost like there should have been two tavs there. And why is there a dagesh in this yod?
Oh yeah.
Chaya.
Yeah. It should be 2 yards, is it?
It should be two yods, but the last yod actually goes missing, and all that's left is a vowel, much like
Matter lectiones.
mater lectionis, right?
Yes, sorry.
And so it's not because of the missing yod, it's actually just because it's part of the pattern. And who is a ganav?
A thief.
A thief, because he does the action of gimel nun bet, stealing. So here we've got the root chet, yod, third yod is missing. I'm sorry. But the root is chai or chayai, to live. So what is a thing that is known for living? Creatures, animals, living things? Yeah. So it's actually because of the pattern of the word that the dagesh is there. Who is a rakav?
Charioteer.
Right. So rechev is a chariot, rakav is a charioteer. So you can see the same pattern over and over and over. The one that is known for doing that action, that's the point of this pattern. And what's the name of this pattern going to be? Use your, yeah, exactly. Use your arbitrary root letters kuf tet lamed, and then stick the pattern on there with the patach, dagesh, kamatz, and all of a sudden that's the name of the pattern. Katal. Katal. Now, obviously, in modern pronunciation, it's really hard to tell the difference between katal and katal. Katal is a verb, right? But katal is a noun that signifies being known for doing some certain action. All right, who's my next reader? Little itty bitty short verse.
I can do it.
Eileen, you want to do it?
Yes.
All right, Eileen.
I
Thomas, you can have the
try.
next one.
The next one?
No. This one is for you, Eileen. Thomas will have the next one.
Oh, okay. Voreste aftam
Uredaftem.
urataftem
That's right.
et ibeikam.
So because this is a long vowel, it means the following shva is probably pronounced. Oyevechem.
Va en peleu le pen ikm le hereba.
I'm wondering why there aren't two dots at the end of this section. And it makes me want to go look real quick, see if the original has it, and I just have a mistake here. I don't know. Gosh, I really want to do that. Okay, hang on. Where are we?
Okay.
I'll get this. Yeah, my Bible software has to open up, so give it a second. Uredaftem et oyevechem v'nafelu lifnechem lecharev. Now, because of that little thing right there, it tells me that there should be a final, sof pasuk right here. Okay, anyway. Radaf, we know that one, to chase or pursue. Oyev is an enemy. Nafal means to fall. Lifnechem, literally to the face of you all. And then lecharev, pausal. It's basically cherev, but charev. Good. Thomas, would you like to read the next one?
Yeah. Okay. ודרפו
זה,
מכם. Oh, oh, yo, oh, God, כמה קטן, yes?
no, it's a resh.
רש, אוקיי. Oh, yes, oh. אוקיי, ורדפו מכם 500 ומאה מכם רבבה ירדפו ונפלו אויביכם לפניכם לחרב.
Very good. All right, I'm just getting this finished here and then I'll read through it. There we go. Okay. ורדפו מכם 500 ומאה מכם רבבה ירדופו ונפלו אויביכם לפניכם לחרב. All right, get my pen back on here. There we go. There's radaf again. Mikem, missing noon of the word min has shown up as a strong dagesh, right? Min kem becomes mikem. What's the number 5 usually?
חמש.
Hamesh. Why is this hamisha?
It's masculine form.
Well, masculine.
Is it meant to be
it's fine.
fifth?
It is actually the masculine form. Ironically, chamesh is feminine and hamisha is masculine. Now, this is a little strange because me'ah, you can tell from the kamatse that this is not a masculine noun. Me'ah is feminine. And even in modern Hebrew, you say chamesh me'ot. Chamesh me'ot. So why? So first question, why is it hamisha? Second question, why is it me'ah instead of me'ot? I don't know.
But isn't all the numbers the small numbers usually the opposite to what it says? Like the supposed to be male, and isn't that how the numbers go?
Well, yeah,
Anyway.
that's precisely what I'm saying is the and the in makes this masculine, but why is it being paired up with a feminine word me'ah? So usually, like, for example, elef is masculine. So if you wanted to say 5,000, it would be hamisha alafim. But if it's 500, it's chamesh me'ah. So this is interesting to see this, but I mean, we can figure it out. 500. So of you 5. Oh, whoa. That's why. See, why didn't you guys tell me this? That's our subject.
It's 800.
That's our verb. And that is our direct object. Now let's try rereading it. 5 of you all shall chase 100. Now, see, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that's this masculine plural is supposed to match up with that masculine plural. Well, common plural, actually, but and that also explains why me'ah isn't in the plural. 5 of you will chase 100. Ume'ah mikem revava. Does anybody know the fancy word for 10,000? Revava? A myriad.
Myriad. Okay.
Myriad, right.
Is this this is the Psalms we're reading, yeah?
No, this is Leviticus, the last Torah portion of the book of Leviticus.
Oh, okay, because I'm sure it says the same thing as Psalms 91,
very,
but anyway, in the English
very
version.
possible. 100 of you will the verb to chase is implied, it's not repeated. It's called an ellipsis when it leaves out the verb like that. Ah, there's the verb right there. Yirdofu. That makes a lot more sense. Me'amkem revava yirdofu. So here's our subject. There's our object. There's our verb. Why is there an O vowel here? Isn't it supposed to be yirdofu? Should be yirdofu. Why is this yirdofu?
Is it an infant? What was it? Oh, I don't know. I'll keep quiet.
There's your etnach, your halfway point, pausal form. It brings back the original vowel, right? Yiktol has an O vowel in it. So yirdofu will get the O back if it moves the stress over. So that pausal form, you're noticing more and more what these pausal forms like to do. They bring back original vowels. They have penultimate stress, just like this one over here. Lecharev, like the one we saw earlier. All right, there's nafal, oyev, lifnechem, lecharev. I think we're good. All right, who's my next reader? Annie, would you like to read?
Yes.
All right.
Ufaniti alechem vechifueti etchem vechirabeti etchem vachakimoti et beeti etchem.
Very good. Ufaniti alechem vehifreti etchem vehirbeti etchem vahakimoti. Excuse me, it's got final stress because it's vekatel. Vahakimoti et briti itchem. That should be audible shva itchem. All right, what is the root ufanita?
Hana?
It's an pay nun yod.
Very good. Alechem, what's the root?
Al.
All.
Originally, there was a yod.
Yeah,
That's why the yod is coming back here. But we know it as el, to or towards. But whenever you put a suffix on it, the original yod comes back. Aleph, lamed, yod. What's the root of vihifreti?
Oh, pay resh yod.
Noticing a pattern?
Mhm.
You.
What's the root of vehirbeti?
Resh bet yod.
Mm-hmm. All right. And
Would
then
you? Yeah, Rabba.
and then what's the root of vahakimoti?
Kof vav mem.
Very good. Yeah, this one's not the same as the other ones. One of these things is not like the others. This one has a vav in the middle. Why is there a yod then
Because
instead?
they interchange, they can interchange. And they used to interchange it in it, the vav and the yod.
While what you're saying is correct, there's a better answer here, and it has to do with this hey.
Okay.
The hey of hefil. Hefil has a hey at the front and
Oh yes. So in yod, the Eric yod is the whatever.
exactly. The hefil's hirik yod overrides or overrules that vav, and so it's not there, unfortunately. But yeah, it comes from the root kum, to arise or rise up, and here it's in the hefil causative, cause something to rise. Well, that's to establish it. Establish what? My covenant, briti itchem. Is this a direct object marker?
Itchem, yeah. No.
With you.
That's a direct object marker.
Yeah.
Etchem is your direct object marker. Itchem with that chirik is with.
Mhm.
Remember, they look the same. They both look like aleph tav, They both look like this, but it could be the direct object marker or it could be with.
Mhm.
So always keep in mind that it could be with. But in the conjugated form, in the declined
Yeah.
form, actually,
Mhm.
you get a chirik here,
Mhm.
and usually you get a cholam over here,
Mhm.
except in the U plural forms.
Okay.
All right, little itty bitty one. Who wants to read a short one?
I can read.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, another one.
All right, go ahead, Angela.
Va'akal tem. Va'akal lekem. Oh, let me say that again. Va'akal. Kol. Is that kol?
No, it's a patach.
Yeah. Va'akal tem. And yashan.
Mhm.
And noshan. Veyashan. Mi, mip, mip, nay, mipene,
That's right.
yeah, and kadash, and to itsu,
Totzi'u.
to itsu,
Va'achaltem yashan noshan. V'yashan mipnei chadash totzi'u. All right. Yashan or yashen. I guess yashen is something that is old. So here yashan is describing something as being old. The old stuff that's in storage. Va'achaltem, you all shall eat. Yashan noshan is. Does anybody know this word right here? They translate it as long.
It's very equally old as a Yashan.
I mean,
Yeah.
it looks, if I didn't know any better, I would think that this is a nifal.
Mhm.
still look like the same word before it, isn't it?
Exactly. It looks like a nifal participle
Mhm.
of that root.
Mm.
But
That's
what would that mean? The old
wow.
stuff that has been olded. Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can
So
find. Yeah.
I suppose long and old, it depends long ago. Old. Could it be this?
I want to see if that's correct or not. Let's see. Leviticus 26. And it's further down than this.
Mhm.
Ooh, did we go too far? I think we went too far. We are in Leviticus 26, right? I thought we started in verse 3, though. There it is. If you walk in my seasons, v'natati ghadafu v'achaltem yashan noshan.
Mhm.
Look at that.
Mhm.
It's from the same root. And the morphology, look at that, a nifal participle. So what's the meaning of it? How are we to understand this?
Is it given emphasis? Oh no.
I'm about to find out. Here, wait, that one. It says the very old store. Let's see how this is. Do we have interlinear? Yes, we do. Yeah, it just uses the word long again. So very old. I think you're right that it's emphasizing how old it is, which means that you have lots and lots of abundance. Okay, that's what this is a picture of. You have so much grain in your barns that you have such abundance.
Mhm.
V'yashan mipnei chadash, and the old stuff before the new stuff, totzi'u, you will bring forth. You have so much old stuff that you can't even start eating the new stuff yet. That's abundance. If you keep commandments, then good things will happen. Let's see. Amanda, do you want to read?
Yes.
Go ahead.
ונתתי משכני בתוככם, ולא יגאל נפשי אתכם.
Short one, but a good one. ונתתי משכני בתוככם, ולא תגאל נפשי אתכם. This is a good, I guess, kind of a good word to know. Ga'al, to abhor. What's the subject of tig'al?
You.
Or
It's what's the one that you usually drop off?
the tav, the yiktal tav means either you,
Yiktal.
masculine singular, or
Feminine.
Or third
feminine.
person feminine singular.
Nafchi is feminine, yes.
nefesh is feminine.
Mhm.
She, my soul, will not abhor etchem, you all.
Mm.
Venatati, and I will set or put or give mishkani, the mishkan, my dwelling place, betochchem. Tavach, toch or tavach has to do with being in the middle of two things. So
Mhm.
among you, and then I will not abhor you. My soul will not abhor you. Thomas?
Yes. והתהלכתי בתוככם, also בתוככם, והייתי לכם לאלוהים, ואתם תהיו, תהיו, לי לעם.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes,
You? Okay.
it's tihu. There's a consonantal hey there.
Oh,
Tihu.
yeah. Tiryu. It's not a dot, a makif.
Why
Makif.
should there? There's a vowel attached to it. If there's a vowel attached to it, then you know it's a consonant.
Okay. Then is that in every time?
Yes.
Yes.
And remember that a vowel hey, first off, a vowel hey will only occur at the end of a word.
Yeah.
And if there's no other vowel under it, then it'll take a mapik to let you know so that you don't confuse it for a vowel.
Yeah.
And
I hear that second time. Also, tiryu. Also, tiryu.
tihu.
This one.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. I hear that the second time.
Good.
Oh.
Vehitalachti, excuse me, hang on a second. If that's a vekatal, then that means it's final stress.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this stress marker is always at the end, so we don't know where the stress is by the cancellation mark itself. Sorry. Vehitalachti betochechem, vehayiti lachem lelohim, ve'atem tihyu li la'am. Okay, what's the root of vehitalachti?
And a lamed kem.
Halach, to walk. What's the hit at the front?
Hitpael.
What does that mean?
It can
They
be
do it to themselves.
passive,
Okay. If you do it to yourself, it's called reflexive.
reflexive, or
What if you do it with one another, like hugging or marrying or something like that? Reciprocal. So this hit at the front tells us that it is a hit ha el binyan, which tells us it's either reflexive or reciprocal. Either I'm doing something to myself or with somebody else. So vehit halachti, this is God saying, I will walk myself about? Or we will walk about each other? Kind of, yeah. This might be loosely translated as hanging out in modern vernacular. I'll hang out with you all. I'll walk about with you all. V'hayiti lachem, and I will be to or for you all. This is how Hebrew says to become. I will become for you. It uses haya with a lamed. I will be to intention, direction, that thing over there. I will become it. V'hayiti, excuse me, v'hayiti, and I will be lachem for you all, lelohim. Where's the vowel on the aleph?
It's under the lamed, isn't it? It's the lamed's got the sere. Should it be?
The lamed has a tzere because it compensated for something. The
Yeah,
aleph,
for the valve under the vowel under the
the aleph
aleph.
quiesced. The aleph at the end of a syllable will quiesce. So rather than le'eh, becomes le lohim.
Yeah.
A lengthening.
Right. Because
Vowel.
we can't put like a how do I say this? We would expect under the lamed a shva,
Yeah.
but Elohim already has a reduced vowel.
Lengthen.
So we have two options: either lengthen this,
Mhm.
either by turning it into a segol, or if the aleph completely quiesces, then it has to turn into a tzere.
So, mhm.
It has to compensate. Can you all think of any other words that have a quiescing aleph in it? Words in which the aleph completely goes silent?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure there is.
Does Elohenu?
Bereshit.
Bereshit. Oh,
Bereshit.
Minle, you feel
Where's the vowel under the aleph? It's gone.
Yeah,
oh
lengthening.
yeah, Bereshit.
How about this one?
Vayome.
Very common word.
Oh yeah.
Vayomer. There's no vowel under the aleph. It quiesced.
Yom. Yeah.
How about a simple one?
Kara.
Yeah.
It should have been kamatz here, patach there, but because aleph quiesced, it compensates. Same thing it did up here. The aleph at the end of the syllable doesn't make a sound. It's like it's not even there. How would you say I called? Karati. No vowel.
No vowel.
Also,
And it's silent as well.
there's no weak dagesh in the top
Mhm.
because it's as if there is a vowel preceding it. The aleph has quiesced. All right, so that's quiescing aleph. Vatem tihyu. The root is hey, yod, missing yod goes right there. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, this is common in lamed yod verbs that the yod goes missing, and u is the yiktol suffix. Tihyu, you all shall be. Li, you all shall become for me a people.
One question.
Yeah.
The same like Tifyu. I hear that in Bereshit, in First Moses chapter 1 is ye. There is not a pronounced T. Ye.
What verse? What chapter?
Verse chapter 1, verse I think 5.
Oh, Vaihi.
Yeah, okay, no. Oh yeah. No. Oh yeah, that's another word. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yes,
not. It's the same root. It's the same root, and it's also
yeah gibt's is another the yeah.
Good. So yihye.
Yeah.
looks like this.
Yeah. It's the same.
Yihye means he will be. There's a yiktol yod at the beginning. Here, there's a vav patach. There should also be a dagesh. It's a vayiktol.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
problem with vayiktols is they like to apocopate. They like to shorten. So
Mhm.
instead of getting this final vowel at the end, it completely
Mhm.
drops off, and you're left with, let me make a better looking vav. Vay. What? How do you pronounce that? Well, it turns into vayehi.
Yeah.
So we lose that final vowel. That's an apocopation.
Okay. Sometimes I can see ye, yeah, and
What about
nobody
this one?
pronounce here, yeah.
What about this one right here?
Yeah.
Yehi.
Oh, that is yehi, yes.
Yeah.
It's the same
Oh,
thing as
yeah.
this, but not a
Mm.
vayiktol. Why?
Yehi.
Vayiktol likes to apocopate. What else likes to apocopate? Something called volatives, showing the desire or the will of the subject. So here we've got a yiktol yod. So he desires to let there be. Let me scroll down just a little bit so we can look at the whole verse. The translation says, let be. Let there be. That's yehi. Let it or him, let it be. Rakia, an expanse. So that's also an apocopated form. Here's another apocopated form. This should be vayase. It should be vayase. Where's the hey? It's apocopated. Vowel letters go missing in apocopated forms. So we get vayas instead.
Thank you.
Nice. All right. Nice long reading. Let's see. Annie, are you up? I don't remember if it's Amanda or Annie.
I just read.
Oh, okay. Then it's Annie.
Okay. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים מחיות לכם עבדים ואשבור עמותות ולכם והולך אתכם אומיות.
Very good. All right. So there are some words in here that you all might not recognize at first, but I think you know the roots. I'll read through it one time. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim mihyot lahem avadim va'eshbor motot ulchem va'olech etchem kommiot. Kommiut. It's got an ut at the end. Sorry about that. All right. So the easy part here, Ani Adonai Elohechem, I am the Lord your God. That's kind of asserting his authority. It's like, I have done this, I'm your God. This is, you should obey me because Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem. What's the root of hotzeti?
It's yod
Yes.
Zion. Yeah, Zion.
Yata with an original vav. So what's the hey at the front?
Is that Ifil?
Yeah. Ifil, causative. So cause yatsa. I caused you all
to be brought forth.
To go out. Me'eretz, there's that compensatory lengthening because the
from
from
the land
cannot assimilate into the aleph. From the land of Mitzrayim,
Egypt.
There's that mihyot. There's that hey with the shva under it again. What is the word mihyot?
From outside? No.
Haya.
Haya. Very good. Hayot is our infinitive construct with a mem on the front of it. Mihyot, from being.
Okay.
Lahem, to them, avadim, slaves. From being for them, slaves. Va'eshbor, what form of verb is this?
It's is it PL? It's not PL, is it?
But by told.
It's a vayiktol. Yeah, we would expect vav patach dagesh, but there's an aleph, so no dagesh, compensatory lengthening. So it flips the tense. It's narrative past. And then I broke. Here they say, and I have broken. Okay, whatever fits well with the context. From the root shavar, to break. Motot, which it translates here as the bands. What do you suppose the root is?
Mata was he?
Mo no mo mem tav yod.
Just to clarify, that's a tet, not a tav.
Tet. Yeah, tet yod. Is it yod?
I don't know. Why is there an O sound in there?
Yeah, Vav. Normally Vav or
Oh, mem vav tet.
All right, let's check our answer.
mhm.
Motot. Deal ben. Oh, yes, boker. Oh, I skipped to Genesis. That's why. All right. Natati etchem, yot lechem. There we go. Motot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ah.
Yep. Mem vav tav. Tav. Now you got me saying it. Tet.
Tet's right.
Which means shaking,
Ah.
wavering.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know the word lehit motet from the root mem vav tet, but motot, I wonder if that's referring to like yokes or bars or something to that effect, because the word ulechem is a yoke proper. So essentially a bent pole is taking a piece of metal and bending it around, and that's going to be a specific part of ulechem, the ol, the yoke. So the bars, here it translates it as the bars of your yoke. I think that's a better translation. And I have broken, or I broke the bars of your yoke. Va'olech. What's the root of va'olech? Right here.
Where is it again?
Let me mark it. This right here. Va'olech.
Oh, it's an aleph. Is it?
Afraid not.
Oh
a
no,
hey-
it's a
lamed.
lamed cuff.
What'd you say? Wait.
It's a
It's
It's
alec
a-
in it.
hey
And then-
lam and cup, and it's a bite.
Bye.
Okay, I heard Bayiktol.
Bite
That's
told.
correct. Good. So Aleph is our Yiktol prefix letter. So the root must be
Oh,
It's a lamed cuff.
right. In the Katal, we call it halach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in every other binyan, that
it's-
hay turns into, excuse me, that's not even true. In Kal Katal, there's a hay. But in Yiktol and in every other binyan, it shows up either as a yod or a vav. This is a very weak root. So if you want to look it up, you have to look under halach, but it looks like maybe that root was originally a vav. And I caused you all to walk. What binyan is this?
oh, it feel again in it.
It's Hefil again.
how do you know?
How do you
It's
know? That's a
That's
great
right.
question. Okay,
It's
so
the
here's
it's
the
the Siri that gives me the clue to me
thing. Exactly.
when I
The tzere helps out. Okay, let's compare this. Well, no, that's not a good one, is it? Essentially, I don't see a good one on here. Okay, so he feel should should have in the katal, it should have a chirik here and a chirik yod right there. With me so
Mhm.
far?
Yes. Mhm.
That chirik is not original. The original vowel there is what shows up in the yiktol, hafil. Good so far?
Okay.
Now we're going to turn it into yiktol by adding a yiktol prefix letter. So we're going to add an aleph right here. Now we've got ahafil, ahafil. Well, what you basically have is a reduced vowel of some kind under the aleph. The hey gets swallowed up, right? That's what happens in yiktol.
Mhm.
So the yiktol form, you know what? I'll use yod instead of aleph just for the time being so that it's easier to equate it with yiktol. And where's my eraser? There we go. So instead of a hey, the hey gets swallowed up. Instead of yahafil, it becomes yafil. Good. So we're up to yiktol. Good. Now, vayiktol adds our vav patach dagesh to the front.
Mhm.
But vayiktol also likes to apocopate. Do you see any mater lectionis letters here?
Ja, gewoon Gerik Malen.
Chirik male, right. Chirik male is a mater lectionis. The apoccopated form will lose that mater and put a tzere instead. Okay,
Okay.
so now let's take our root and plug it in.
Mm.
Let's take out the pei, ayin, lamed, and stick in original vav, original lamed kaf, and what do you get? Vayaw. You see that? Vayawlech. So this syllable right here, let me mark it with a different color. That syllable right there produces what's called a diphthong, which means you're pronouncing multiple vowels in a row. And it's pronounced something like yow. Now that's kind of hard to pronounce. So in Hebrew, it's going to turn into yo. So instead of having a patach here and a shva there, you simply have a cholam there. Vayolech. Vayolech. Or with an aleph, it becomes vaolech.
And the Shabbat under the second vav would disappear. Is it? Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. I see.
So the yow turns into yo, and that's where O comes from. So how do we know it's he feel? Partly because of this, partly because of that, and partly because there's nothing under the aleph. We would have expected there to be a patach under the aleph. In fact, that's one of the key diagnostic features of he feel in yiktol forms. Where's the patach? Sorry, that ow got turned into O. This is an irregular. This is a what you call a pei yod, originally pei vav root, and this is how they all behave. Let's see. How would we say he caused someone to be born?
Ye-
Malen.
Yola, Yola, Yolad, Lid,
Good. Right. So take your hifil, stick in the right root letters.
Yilid.
What are the right root letters? Oh, give me a different color. There we go. Original vav, lamed, dalet.
So.
Remember that was originally a patach. So how becomes ho.
Lead.
Holid means he
Holid.
begat.
Mm.
He caused someone to be born. He begat. So it has the same O vowel, just like this does.
Mhm. The verb peta form from this week root is the name is ayin. Ayin is one name and the other.
The name of this right here is called either Pei Yod, or I actually prefer to call it Pei Original Vav.
Peyod.
So some people will call it Pei Yod Vav because there are some roots that originally had a Yod, and there are some roots that originally had a Vav that turned into a Yod. So they both look like Pei Yods, right? How do you say, can't say that way, can I? Oh yeah, what is a child? A Yeled.
Yeah.
Yeled.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
A Yeled, of course it is. But then why is it that we see in Genesis that the word shows up one time when Sarah has no child?
Valad.
Ein la valad.
Yes,
Because it
that's
was
right.
originally Vav.
Ach,
Mm.
So the word Yeled shows up one time as valad.
well, yes.
All right, let me get back to here. There we go. All right, next reader.
I can read.
Go ahead.
ואם לא תשמעו לי ולא תעשו את כל המצוות האלה.
Vav here is a consonant. Hamitzvot.
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh,
Ha'el.
that is a cancellation mark for consonantal.
No.
It's a
It's
verb.
simply because the tzadi prior to it already has a vowel attached to it. So the vowel O does not belong to the tzadi.
Mm.
But every syllable has to start with a consonant. So this vowel vav has to be a consonant. Mitzvot ha'el. Ve'im lo tishme'u li velo ta'asu et kol mitzvot ha'ele. Sounds like it's building up an if-then clause, doesn't it? So far we've seen if you obey, great things happen. Now it looks like there's a turning point. But if you do not hearken, heed, obey, listen to me, and do all of these commandments, oy vavoy, it's going to turn dark. Then what? Amanda, do you want to read?
Yes, please. Ve'im BeChuqotai tim asu ve'im et mishpatai tigal nafshechem
Very good. You did it. Naf shechem.
levilti asot et kol mitzvotai lehafrechem et beriti.
Good. Try not to put the stress on an audible shva. Lehafrechem. Lehafrechem. Ve'im BeChuqotai tim'asu ve'im et mishpatai tig'al nafshechem levilti asot et kol mitzvotai lehafrechem et briti. Okay, so it's still building up that if clause. Haven't gotten to the end yet. There's chukot. What's okay? The root of timasu ma'as to despise. Yiktol form, if you all despise. Mishpatai, my judgments. Tig'al, there's that ga'al again, almost like a poetic justice. Look, If I put my tabernacle among you, Israel, then my nefesh will not tigal. But now, if you don't follow what you're supposed to, and you tigal, or rather, your soul tigal, your nafshechem tigal. It's poetic that
Mhm.
it's using the word tigal in both respects. First, God saying, "I will not tigal," and now you all will tigal. Levil tiasot. Bal is a negative. We know lo
Mhm.
is a negative. We know al is a negative,
Yeah,
but
and Bal.
bal is another negative.
Okay.
Anybody ever heard of Blial? Sons of Belial?
Ach,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Baal is not, or here there's actually a dagesh, so it's actually bli, without,
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
ya'al, worth, without worth. So here, levilti, so that not, asot, to do, et kol mitzvotai, all my commandments, lehafrechem. Uh-oh.
Hmm?
What's the root? How do we parse this thing out? That's quite the menagerie.
Hey, Rish. Mm,
No, you got the pay in there.
You break.
What can we peel away?
Right, the lamed you can peel away,
hey, you can
and the
peel
chem
away.
you peel away, and I'm thinking that you
Oh.
peel the a away as well, but
Break is afar sometimes with Aleph. Or
Afar?
not. Yeah, or is or it's a verb afar?
Are you thinking of the word for soot?
Oh, okay.
What is it? Afar or efir?
Efer is
Efir.
ashes.
Efir
Oh,
is
so-
soot, I think.
My verb.
And then afar with an ayin is a different one. What's that one?
Okay.
What's
Mhm.
afar?
dust.
Dust.
Yes, dust.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So here, what's the hay? Any guesses?
well,
It's a verbal form.
Yes. What does the hay
and I'm
signify?
thinking it's not a ifil, it's got to be
Why not?
ufal.
No, with
Is it
that
ifil?
patach right there,
Oh
that's
yeah,
the
ifil. Yes,
primary
it is a
indicator.
ifil. Yes,
That's the
ifil.
primary indicator that we're looking at a
Yes,
heel, that patach.
ifil. Yes.
So that means we're missing a root letter.
Yeah,
All we have
but
is a
I'm
pei and a resh.
so what I think we is it olive or something like that at the front? If
You think it's an aleph at the front?
um olive, I was thinking at the front, but maybe not.
Let me see. It's down in the next verse right here, isn't it? There we go. Let's have a look and find out.
Mhm.
Pei resh resh. It's one of the, what do you call it when the second and third root letters are the same?
Geminate.
Geminate, geminate, or ein ein. They both mean the exact same thing.
Okay.
Ein means the second and third root letters are the same. Geminate also. So in the he feel, we're missing that
Another
third
pay.
resh. No, we're missing
Oh,
a resh.
resh.
Say resh.
Another resh. Okay.
To break, or if you break a contract, that would be lehafev.
Okay.
To shatter, or
But that one is very difficult to know the root for that because there's nothing really that
Yeah.
indicate.
right, there's a missing letter, and there's no dagesh, there's no vowel change, it's hard to know. But so what you
Is
have
the
to
reason
do is you
there's
have-
no dagesh because of the resh? Like
No, because it could have been
as a federal?
it could have been in the
sometimes?
pay. They could have put
let
in the
me
pay if
let
they
me
wanted.
let me think about
Scripture.
that. Let me think about that for just a second. Trying to think of some other examples. Like, for example, lehasev. Siboti lasev. No, I don't think that the infinitive is ever going to have a dagesh in it. You can get a dagesh in other places, but I don't think the infinitive
But
will ever
could they
take a
have done
dagesh.
a different vowel though to give us an indication? Because having the shiva.
No, what I think happened is you just get two bets. I'm sorry, you get the same letter twice, both with shvaz, and they simply collapse into each other.
Yeah, so
They couldn't have put a dagesh here because it's a resh, but they
Yeah.
couldn't have put a dagesh over here. Like, for example, in this verb, lehasvechem, they couldn't have put it here because if they put a dagesh there, then you get two audible shvas in a row. You can't have
So
that.
could they not have put the dagash in the pay? Because sometimes they do put the vowel backwards,
And
don't they?
fantastic observation. I know of at least three verbs that do precisely that. When you get, like, for example, dalet lamed lamed,
yeah.
I think it's in the kal binyan, you'll get hang on, vayidal, like this. Now the root is dalet lamed lamed, but as Angela said, there's this weird back assimilation into the dalet, and some people believe that it's because of Aramaic influence that this happened. But yes, it does exist in the Bible in at least three different verbs that I know of, where it back assimilates. But here we have absolutely no indication. So what are you left with? You're left with a pei and a resh, and you have to try to guess what the third root letter is. Now, there aren't that many roots that have a pei and a resh in them. So fortunately, you don't have to go through a whole lot of them. And eventually you realize that hafer is quite a common verb, right? It's usually the most common verbs that are irregular. Ooh, that's a long one. Anyone who hasn't read yet? Would anyone who hasn't read yet like to read?
I can read.
All right, go ahead, Thomas.
Okay. Af ani esh ese oh yes, okay. Ja. Ese zot lachem vehifkadti alechem behala. Oh, that's right. Okay, behala et השחפת ואת הקדחת בחלבות עיניים ומדיבות, נפש עוזרה, oh yeah, that's very difficult. Uzraetem.
So
That's
silent shva.
Yeah, okay, that's it.
Uzratem,
Okay.
uzratem.
Uzratem. Okay, a glutter stop. Uzratem larik tzareachem va'achalu. Yeah, va'achalu.
Va'achaluhu.
Va'achaluhu oivechem.
Very good. Af ani e'ese zot lachem vehifkadti alechem behala et hashachefet ve'et hakadachat. We're going to talk about that one.
I thought you was gonna talk about the one before that.
Michalot einayim umedivot nafesh uzratem larik zarachem va'achaluhu oivechem. Okay.
Can you talk about the ashek bet as well, because obviously there's a double in shin, and so
Well, why is there a
Yeah.
doubled shin?
Hashefet. Hashech.
yeah, yeah. So one of the shin is not part of the root.
Right. The reason that there's a doubling dagesh here is because of the definite article.
Yeah.
The definite article, if it can, will always double the first letter of the word, like this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or habayit. Same thing. It doubles that first letter.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Okay, so when
the-
so the first double in shin wouldn't be part of the root, then it would just still be shin
Correct.
het.
Chet
Okay.
pei. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to make sure. I thought the shin was one of the shin wasn't, but I wanted to make sure.
Thomas,
Okay.
what did you want to say?
Yeah. When we have asher as a prefix, is that doubling with a he in front?
Well, if you have a share in the abbreviated form, it becomes she. And this will be
Ah,
the following letter
the
will
first
have a
root
double
letter
dagesh.
is doubling. The first
No,
root letter.
no,
Okay.
a root letter or not, the first letter of the word should be doubled.
Okay, the first root. And
Right.
when it and when there is a he, definite he, or is that definite?
I don't understand what you're saying because she means
When I have
that.
asher as a prefix,
Yeah.
and ha, when this
Oh,
word
okay.
is definite.
Yes. So let's try shehabayit.
Oh yeah, okay, yes, wonderful.
All right. So we can't put a dagesh in the hey. So it's simply virtually doubled.
Okay.
Hey does the whole virtual doubling thing. So this stays a segol, and then that just moves on with life.
Okay.
Shehabayit, that the house, ... Now this over here, akadachat, and this right here, I have a little bit of trouble with. Anybody know? Does anybody know why?
Hmm?
Oh, okay. Never mind. I guess the dagesh in the dalet is part of the structure of the word, the pattern of the word. So we're looking at a root of kuf dalet chet.
Het.
Chet. Let's have a look at that one. That's not a very common one, but when Hebrew wants to represent some kind of an illness or a sickness, it usually has this kind of pattern. Like a demit is measles from the root adon, which means red. All right, so let's go down to here it is. So shachefet, that's the one we just looked at. Shachaf. Shachaf is a gull, an unused root meaning to peel or emaciate, like a cuckoo. Okay, that doesn't tell me a whole lot. I wonder how many times this shows up in the Bible. I wonder if it's a hapax legomenon.
Okay.
Oh, it shows up twice, once in Leviticus and once in Deuteronomy. In Deuteronomy, you shall strike, or the Lord shall strike you with lung disease and with a fever and an inflammation and with extreme burning and with the sword and with blasting and mildew. So there's that Deuteronomy part that talks about all the curses if you do not follow this law. So it's parallel, apparently. There's a wasting, point terror.
I thought it's the other one you was going to look at.
It is. It is. Now let's
Okay.
go over to this one. Kadach
Yeah.
has to do with inflaming. All right.
So
Well, let's see.
kaf dalet ket.
So kadach shows up 5 times in the Bible. That's good. We could use, there we go. So it does show up in Deuteronomy. Where's the Leviticus one? Oh, it doesn't show up as a verb, as a verb in Leviticus. It shows up in Deuteronomy as a verb. A fire has been kindled, it burns, shell consumes the earth, sets on fire. Okay. But here as a noun, kadachat, aha, same thing. Shows up
Yeah.
once in
Wait.
Leviticus, once in Deuteronomy, both with the same theme of obey, blessings happen, disobey, curses happen. Translated as simply a inflammation that is febra. I do not know what that word means. Burning, yeah, I don't know what that word means either. So burning fever. Oy vavoy.
Mm.
Okay, if you want to find out what a burning fever feels like, then just disobey God's commandments.
Okay.
Okay, comments,
But
questions
now
so far?
I pronounced the word mechalvot in the right way, because it's very difficult the first time to search and read.
Sure.
Oh.
Which word? You're saying mechalot
Mechalot.
right here? Mechalot.
Yeah, mechalvot, yes.
Uh-huh. What's the root
Vot.
of mechalot?
Mechalvot.
It's
Achal.
Kaf
Achal.
Vav Lamed.
Is that achal? Aleph,
Ah. Aleph, Kaf.
lamet. Achal. Consume. To eat, to consume.
Just
Oh,
to
yeah,
clarify, we're
Aleph.
talking about this one right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there,
Aleph.
is there anything we can peel away?
Which one? The one that we can peel away the mem
Why?
and the mem and the
Good. Why
Vav.
can we good? Why can we peel away the mem? I agree
Um,
with you.
Participle. Participle.
Yes. So that's
Feminine.
mem of the participle.
Yeah.
Good.
Feminine
What else?
plural.
So it's
And
either going to be Aleph Kaf Lamed or Kaf Vav Lamed.
It's a
But
false
I don't know.
dilemma. It could be
and
a
the
third option.
suffix.
What else can
It's
you
going
peel
to
away?
be
Ot.
oh the ot
Suffix.
the ot.
Okay, so we're left with a kaf and a lamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that. What about the vowel pattern? You said it was a participle. Shva, patach, dagesh. What
Yeah.
binyan is this?
That
Is it called? Oh, is it Kaf Lamed Lamed? No, I don't think so.
You
Yeah,
can't.
kol.
There is a kaf lamed lamed, like the word kol comes from
Yeah.
kaf lamed lamed, and it means essentially the same thing as kaf lamed yod.
Okay.
This is kaf lamed yod, and because of the shva, patach, dagesh, we're looking at a PL, feminine plural, participle. So this verbal root means something like to be finished in the sense of came to an end because it's finished. So the way they translate it, because they translate it as consume, you might think that it's aleph kaf lamed. But what would a PL of aleph kaf lamed look like?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it would have it would definitely okay
The first root letter aleph would stay.
Yeah, it would stay, but yeah, it's Sarah would be there. The Sarah would be there, yeah.
Okay.
So this is another lamed yod root. Kaf lamed yod, the yod went missing.
Okay.
Einaim debot nafish. What is this? Midibot. Says cause sorrow.
Is that a participle as well?
I'm tempted to think so because there's an ot and there's a mem. Now, if so, then what's our root?
Dalet, Yud, Bet.
We see the dalet.
Dalet Yud Bet.
Unless it's Dalet Bet.
What if it's dalet vav bet and this is a he feel participle?
Oh,
All right, let's go find out. Where are you? Right there. Yes, I win. I mean, we found out. So this is kind of funny to me because the dalet vav bet is also the root for dove. What's a
Yeah,
dove?
bear.
A bear.
The bear, yes.
Moping about. Look at that. The root means to mope. Isn't that
Uh-huh.
funny? So a dove is a noun derived from the root that means to mope.
Ah,
Isn't
cool.
that funny?
Mm.
Yes.
I find it hilarious,
Yeah.
personally. All right, let me see. I wanted to.
Mhm.
How are we doing on time?
I'm glad I know. I think I'm better at the knowing the roots and the verbs rather than the speaking.
All right, so I wanted to this and that. There are two. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm going to read the last little bit of Leviticus. Follow along with me, and then we're going to, chant that little fun blessing at the end. V'chol masar haaretz mizera haaretz mipri haetz ladonai hu kodesh ladonai. All the tithe of the fruit of the trees are holy and belong to the Lord. V'im ga'ol yig'al ish mima'asro. If someone redeems something of his tithe, meaning this is dedicated to be a tithe, but now I'm going to take it back, then hamishito Yosef alav. Then that means you have to pay it back plus a fifth. So it's kind of serious to take from the stuff that's already dedicated to be a tithe. V'chol masar bakar vatzon. All right, this is the tithe concerning of the herds, the flocks. Kol asher ya'avor tachat hashavet. Everything that passes under the staff. So when you're collecting all of your flocks, they're passing under the staff so that you can count them, make sure that they're all yours. You can stop them quickly by dropping the staff down. Ha'asiri, the 10th, yeh kodesh ladonai. The 10th shall be holy to the Lord. Lo yevaker ben tov lara, velo yemirenu, ve'im hamer yemirenu, v'haya hu utmurato yeh kodesh lo yigael. All right, so I want to just point out that we have this root of mem. I think is it mem resh resh? I think, or mem vav resh. Lehamer. I think it's mem vav timurat. It is. It's mem vav resh. Shows up here, 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 4 times, and it has to do with exchanging one thing for another. There's a word in modern Hebrew, timurat, and it means in exchange for. So if he's going, he shouldn't change it out. If he does, then both the one that he took and the one he changed out are both holy. You lose. All right, last verse of the book of Leviticus. Ele hamitzvot. These are the commandments. Asher tziva Adonai, that the Lord commanded. Et Moshe, commanded to Moses. El bnei Yisrael, for the children of Israel. Bahar Sinai. On Mount Sinai. So there's this blessing at the end. I wonder if I have to put it up on the camera. I want us to all do it together. So my apologies for taking so long. I just looked it up. Here it is. Haha. There it is. All right, turn that on. Switch that over. Where are you? Trying to get the other camera on. Why don't computers have more than more than 4 USB ports? What if someone has 5 things to plug in?
You got a whole 4 things to plug in?
Oh, yeah. All right.
I've got 2 USB port and that's it.
Switch and switch. There we go. So you're looking at a Chumash right here.
Can it get bigger?
That right there, At the conclusion of each of the 5 books of the Torah, it is customary for the congregation, followed by the reader, to proclaim
Chazak.
Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Everybody,
Azak,
Chazak,
Azak,
Chazak,
Azak,
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 v'nitchazek.
Vanit, Azak.
Vanzak.
All right, so what is Chazak?
Be strong.
Be strong. So
Be
double
strong.
it so that it's more important. Chazak, Chazak, be strong, be strong.
Be very strong.
V'nitchazek. What is that?
Man,
Be
Let-
strong in the Lord and in the
Boss
power of his might.
myself.
What if it? No, it's a yiktol of hitpael, and we will be strong.
strong.
Be strong, and we will be strong. So by studying the Torah, we shall be strong.
Azak, Azak,
Yeah, amen.
So
Nit, Azak,
at the
So
conclusion of
Hazak,
each-
Azak,
Vanit, Azak.
Yeah.
at the
Azak.
conclusion of every single book of the Torah, all
Azak,
5 books, this is
Vanit,
what's
Azak.
and when somebody's up at the bima reading and they read that last verse, well, you better be sharp and on point, because everybody starts saying it to Chazak, Chazak, v'nit chazek.
Vanit, Azak. Okay.
All right. Thank you all so much for coming today. If you want to support Hungry for Hebrew, this is how you do it. And I look forward to seeing you all next week for another session. Until then, lehitraot v'shalom.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yitrut
Shalom.
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 Thank you very much.
Azak, Azak.
Thank